Well, Albert the Technologist. This is a follow-up to the Quick CPU. It's been running ever since. Well, see, I got the screen capture is running. Without the screen capture, this is at 4% initialization. But it's doing a pretty good job. I mean, it's keeping the RAM pretty fast. Ran a game with the high performance, run perfectly on here. I mean, and that's a heavy game that I ran. Well, I run when I'm on Star Trek Online. If you should be on Star Trek Online, look for the USS Magnesium. Magnesium. Yeah, yeah, it's magnesium, something like that. But and there's a battleship version of it too. It's the Romulan Warbird. I got everything in that ship. Anyway, that's I played that, and that's uses a lot of RAM, a lot of graphics. Um, yeah, so I'm in that. So I didn't notice anything running this in the background, but I like all of the cores running. Now I was trying to show you how this looked on the gateway. It ran on the gateway. I was shocked to see frequency scaling and turbo boost and performance level on there was set. What they have set to default was terrible. So I was able to get it up to where something like this. It's only like 1 gigahertz slower than this one, but it's been running for several hours, no problems. Well, except on the gateway it overheating. So you have by running the CPU at full speed ahead, it's like any steamship. It's gonna overheat. You had to run a cooler on it to keep it cool because it'll throttle back down to balance. But I can't do the capture program and run this at the same time. But it does work. But I can see how much RAM is free. So people don't understand that physical memory is the hardware, the RAM sticks. Virtual memory, it uses the hard drive. But since in this machine it's SSD, is using memory as a hard drive, it's much faster than using mechanical drive. It has to swap. That's the way to design the program because RAM doesn't clean itself. So the memory is used. Then when you finish the program, it should release, but it don't release. Oh, you can go to memory modulations. Yeah, mine is this one. This system is DDR3. There, I had 4 of them in here, but I had to take the RAM out. One of them went bad. It's free warranty on it. It's a hassle to send it back to them, so I decided to go buy another stick. But you can't buy one stick; you have to buy 2 sticks. It's alright. I mean, when it was running 32 gig, it wasn't using all the RAM. Performance-wise, video RAM, I was able to. It's shared RAM. I was able to get 4 gigs out of that. Mm-hmm. Like I was saying, now physical memory, when you close an app, it should release memory. It doesn't release it; it sticks because then the virtual RAM takes over. So people always believe, well, I have 64 gig of RAM. I don't need virtual memory. Yes, you do because the way Microsoft has Windows set, they have it swap. to a stationary RAM, like a holding storage center. That's the way they wrote the code, you know. And RAM is unpredictable too. Whether in the olden days when you didn't have enough RAM, the VRM, which is virtual RAM memory, that's what it's called. They use that to subsidize when people has not enough RAM, and after that they use the ready RAM, while using an SD card and create RAM that way. But that too was slow. It was unpredictable. So they're still using virtual RAM. It's supposed to be almost the size of your RAM is committed. Now, some say, some experiment, is not to put the virtual RAM on the same drive that the operating system is and put it on like a shared drive and run it that way, or have two of them. But if you try to turn a virtual RAM and run physical RAM, you're going to run into problems. It doesn't matter how much RAM you have. By default, Windows is supposed to use the RAM, but the RAM, it needs a buffer, a place to hold the RAM. It's a buffering system. That's the way they wrote the code, and it's still the same kind of code. You have to understand how the RAM works in a computer. But I like how this software can do a better job managing RAM, where Windows doesn't clean the RAM out and it sticks in there. It's just like the Android does the same thing too. You got to run a separate program to clean out the RAM, or actually it cleans out the cache, the system. It cleans out the app cache where everything you do is stored in Android on each app. Those apps need to be cleaned because it takes storage. So everything you do, say not the data. You don't want to clean that cache because that holds your password and all that other information. It's the other one. But it doesn't do it by default. So again, little complication. Same thing goes under an Apple OS. Have the same issue with memory and RAM. And every time you open up a screen, you need to close those screens because they're running in the background, taking up space, taking up memory, you know, especially if you only got 32 gig of storage space on your iPad or iPhone. Yeah, some limitations. Yeah, the core is bouncing back and forth based on the temperature, based on this app running in the background. These are schemes. I'm not touching these things. So, because I'm using the other program, it's to jump to this. Well, anyway. So, you watched the first video on this. You might want to try it for yourself. If you want to speed up your system, you might have a fast machine, but nothing's too fast. Eventually, the machine will bog down because. And another thing too, the registry needs to be defragged and checked because every time you install, it gets fragmented, and that can slow down the process because it's reading. Windows reads the registry, and if the registry has gaps and spaces in there, so the defragging, all it does is stack it together in one stack instead of having it all over the place. You're just defragging the file. It needs to be defragged now and then. You gotta, if you notice the system is running sluggish, you need it. That's what you need to do. And that's what Wise Cleaner has. I'm not plugging them. I'm just telling you. That's what I use. The free version can do the defragging as well. Oh, what is this? Oh. Hey, that's it. Okay. If any questions, feel free to ask. Now, I'm running the desktop PC. We're not running the gateway. For some reason, I can't video screenshot the gateway. Yeah, because then the RAM in there and it keeps crashing the app. So that's why I use the camera method. I know a lot of people don't like to look at that, but that's the option. Anyway, that's about it. Wow, it's 4 in the morning. Wow, time flies. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off and end this video. Don't forget to subscribe though. I do appreciate it. Alright. This was just a follow-up on Quick CPU for the desktop Windows Pro.